action. Okay, the very first page is a refresher. Okay, so we had 4 different types of angles. Okay, complementary, what does that equal?
90 degrees.
90 degrees. Okay, and it looks like
A right angle, basically.
a right angle. So it's going to have an angle with a little like square in there to let you know that it's a right angle. Okay, and the square is going to be absolutely important today when we start on the back page. Okay, because there's like things that go together. Okay, the next one's a linear pair.
180.
180, and what's another word for that?
There are 2. There's straight angle and supplementary.
Yeah, so supplementary is going to be kind of a common one. Straight is another one, and they equal 180. Okay, and it looks exactly like a straight line with like a whoop in the middle because that lets you know that it's exactly straight. Okay? Bree, write the notes down. You're trying to do a sheet, and that's not smart today. Okay, vertical angles and adjacent angles. If I had to pick, that's where some of you guys started going wrong the other day when we did the sheet. So obviously you think you know how to do it, but you don't. Okay, because the vertical angles and the adjacent angles is where the majority of you guys started screwing it up. Okay, so the vertical angles. How would you describe a vertical angle?
Opposite directions.
They have to be equal in opposite directions. By that I mean. This one is in this direction, okay, and this one is in this direction, but if this one is this little and this one is like super huge, I know I can't do it with my hands, okay, and you have one that's really small and one that's really huge, they are opposite for sure, right, but are they equivalent? Are they the same size of angle? Okay, so they have to be the same size. You can't have one that is like this small and then this one is this big. Okay, yes, they are opposite, but they're no longer vertical because of the fact that they're not the same size.
So they'd be same size and the same vertical.
Yes, okay, so somewhere you need to make yourself a note that the vertical angles, they do need to be the same sides and they need to be going in the opposite direction. Okay, and then adjacent is the ones where I don't know what some of you guys were doing. Okay, an adjacent angle is going to be where they share
The same plane.
the same side. So I can tell you right here that this one is an adjacent angle because if we look at this, okay, we have angle B, okay, and then we also have angle A. See how they share that same side, that black and red? They share a side, which means they're going to be adjacent. Adjacent means like right next to each other or right on top of each other.
So
Like they're overlapped.
One on one side and there's 2 on the same side.
Yeah. So there could also be in another adjacent angle on this one, like if we had angle C, this would also be adjacent. A and C would be adjacent, and A and B would be adjacent. But are B and C adjacent? No, because they're not touching each other. Okay, so if we looked at B and C, we got this one and this one, they're not sharing a side. Okay, they're touching at the vertex right here, but they're not sharing a side. Okay, so they have to be sharing the same side in order for it to count. Okay, so this one is definitely going to be adjacent. Okay, if we looked at 2, okay, we have alternate exterior, linear pair, complementary, vertical. Can we cross anything off?
The alternate exterior.
The alternate exterior, that's not even a vocab word yet. Okay, linear pair is what?
180.
180, okay? And we're given these 2 angles. Okay, we got this one for A and this one for B. Okay? So what do those look like?
Vertical.
Yeah, and they are. They're vertical, okay? They're opposite of each other, and they look about the same amount of degrees, okay? Okay, 4. What do we think that is? Can we cross anything off? Yep, so we can cross off this one. What else can we cross off?
It's a complementary angle.
We can cross off the other alternate interior. Okay, so now the only 2 that we have left is complementary and linear pair. And I don't know what some of you guys are looking at. Maybe you need to use colored pencils. So we have this little one, and this other one, okay? And we look at the two of those together and say, well, what do they look like? Okay, do they look like they add up to 180, or do they look like they probably add up to 90? 90, so it's gonna be complementary.
Alright.
Okay, go to the back page. Now, I don't know, you guys tell me, do you just want me to start going through some problems and you hopefully can figure it out, or do you want me to write you some notes? Huh?
Personally, it doesn't look that bad to me personally.
Some of them are not. Some of them we already did. There's just a few new rules. Okay? So, if we look at number 9, okay, we have this circle that goes from here to here. Okay? Remember our angle addition postulate? We just did it the other day. It says this angle plus this angle should equal, you know, it's either complementary or supplementary. Okay? But when you put all angles together and it goes around in a full circle, okay, that equals 360. So a full circle all the way around an angle equals 360. So this one, if we looked at, we have this one plus this one plus this one plus this one, really makes a full circle. Okay, so it should equal 360. Okay, if we look at this one, we have this one plus this one plus this one, same thing. We went all the way around and made a little bitty baby circle. That equals 360. Okay, so when we're looking at this, so somewhere maybe some of you guys need to write a note. A full circle equals 360. Okay, in which case a half of a circle, okay, just this half on the inside, if you split a circle exactly in half, when we look at that line, what type of angle is that? Right here.
Is it a complementary angle?
It's a straight line.
Oh, so it'd be a supplementary angle.
Supplementary. A half of a circle is 180. Okay, it's a supplementary. Okay, and then if we split that half circle again and we split it in half, okay, meaning this part, okay, we have just this, and we draw a little circle around it, and I'm going to scoot this up so some of you guys can see. And we have just a half of a circle. What is a half of a circle going to be? Complementary, and it's 90 degrees. Okay, and you can tell that this one is definitely 90 degrees. It's going to be complementary, and it's going to be 90 degrees. Does everyone understand what we're doing? Okay, you have a full circle, and you divide it by 2. You divide 360 by 2, you're going to get 180, which is supplementary. If you divide that by 2, again, you're going to get a right angle or a complementary angle, which is 90. Okay, my last little thing. If you know, and we can start back at the supplementary, if you have a circle, and I split it into 2, and I say, well, let's look at the top one, and I split it in exactly 2, what does the bottom one have to be? Okay, so if we take a circle right here, I'm going to say, well, I got this circle, and I'm going to give Mario half of the circle. Okay, so this part is Mario's, and this part is mine. How much is Mario's? How much is a half of the circle? 180. So how much is mine? 180. Okay, so if something is 180, the other thing has to be 180, and that's called congruence. That means equal and fair for all. Okay, and so if one is, we have a full circle and we split it, and we know that, look at my circle, it's crazy. Okay, we know that this one is a right angle, and we're just looking at this, okay, and we're gonna, me and Mario, again, are gonna split a pizza, a half of a pizza at that, okay?
Ooh.
How much does he get?
One,
A half of a half of a half.
90.
90. So if this one is 90, how much do I also get? 90. Okay, so if one is 90, the one right next to it is also 90. Okay, and if this one is 90 and this one is 90, what should this one be? 90. And this one should also be 90. There's congruence when we look at right angles and straight angles. Okay, because of the fact that if we split it equally, okay, when something's equal, that means we both get the same amount. So if something is 90, the one right next to it is also 90. Okay, so let's look at some of these problems.
Okay.